Hey guys, this is Andrew Smith, instructor at Ferris State University, and over artbysmitty.com. Today I'm just kind of working and decided to create some character designs, and I just kind of wanted to show the extreme early stages of character design, at least to my knowledge, and hopefully it helps guide you and get you at least started designing a character. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play the time lapse. Before I get started, though, it's kind of important to know a little bit about the direction that you want to go with character design. My brother got me the Monster Hunter 2 illustrations guide. It's essentially a gigantic 400-page art book of the entire design process for Monster Hunter 2. And I've already gone and created a direwolf, right? And so with this direwolf, I kind of wanted to create a character that was a companion, or perhaps this wolf was the companion of the character. So I've already kind of got a, obviously wolves are kind of up in the northern territories, colder climates. I've got Monster Hunter here in front of me. I kind of got an idea of the universe and the needs and the desires of these characters, maybe even the habits, the expertise, the cultural background. I've got all of these things, their motivations. These are all certain, important things that you need to think about when creating characters. I've really early on in the design process here, so I just wanted to kind of share that part of it with you. It's not a necessarily the exact how to design a character, but maybe it'll help. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll just kind of talk over the time lapse. Alright guys, so I've opened up Alchemy. It's a free software that you guys can use. It's al.chemy.org, and I'm just kind of working with symmetry on, and again I've got an idea of the kind of character I want to create, and just creating a bunch of different designs as quickly and fast as I can. The biggest key I can tell you guys with Alchemy is don't get too carried away with details. Work really fast, and work just really abstract. There's no undo keys in Alchemy. We just got to keep going. If you don't like what you create, delete it, move on. The interface is pretty self-explanatory. Now the direwolf I showed earlier is not, obviously it's like 40% complete, if that. It's very incomplete, so I've kind of got the idea. And this last design is kind of the one that I ended up going with. Once I get 3, 4, 5, 6 designs, I open up Photoshop and excuse that image, and I just kind of put them all together, and then I say, okay, maybe look at all these different characters together. That's really important. They have culture, they have relationships. How do these characters fit in the same universe together? And then once I kind of look at them all together, then I can kind of decide, okay, which one I want to go with. And so here I'm kind of adding a slight gradient. Dota 2 does this kind of technique with their textures and their in-game models, where it's kind of lighter towards the top, a little bit darker towards the bottom. It's a very subtle effect. Here I'm putting some shadows below the characters a little bit, just to give them weight, give them gravity, give them an environment, kind of cleaning up the graphic element of the image, giving it some vignettes or a vignette around the corner. And then now I'm coming in and saying, okay, let's look at these characters. Who are they, and what color represents them? Being up in the north, I'm thinking Northern Lights. I'm thinking the Arctic Circle. So I'm kind of giving them a color to associate each one with. Looking at all these characters, I'm just going to start. Immediately after looking at the colors, I know that this is the guy I want to go with. And again, I have the Monster Hunter Guide 2 here in front of me, looking at all of their different winter coats. And I'm just grabbing a simple brush and just holding Shift to create nice solid sharp lines, drawing over the silhouette I originally created. And this first one, I'm straying way too far from the original design in Alchemy, and it looks cool, just not what I want. So create another really quick one, just see where it goes. Thinking about fur. These guys have to survive. Their expertise is probably hunting, staying warm. Their motivations, again, staying warm, survival. So that's why they look the way they look. They obviously have to be in somewhat good shape. They can't be super out of shape. You know, looking at the environments, the demographic, the habitat that they're in, they're going to be gathering. They're hunter-gatherers, right? So they also have to blend in with their environment. Now I'm starting the third and I think final one that I go with, and so hunting, they have to blend in, right? So that now I'm kind of adding some camouflage and some cultural, you know, tassels at the bottom there. That I might actually add some more tassels or bones here at the wrists, just to kind of show that this guy is probably an established, experienced hunter. Giving him the blue eyes at the top, just to kind of go with the color of that character that I decided to go with. You know, if you guys Google Northern Lights, you got pink, green, blue, maybe some oranges. So that's why I chose the colors I chose, and they're usually pretty bright. So here I'm using the liquify tool just to play with, you know, shapes, and then I look at all three designs together. It's really important to constantly look, to constantly not get too attached to anything. And so here I'm just affirming that this latest version is the one I want to go with. So I essentially delete the other two, continue to play with the third design, look at the legs, and try and see if there's anything else that I want to go with, and then finally I kind of merge them all together and I start to crop it down and say, okay, you know, maybe I'll revisit those. You know, if you're looking at archetypes, you've got the big bruiser in the middle, you've got the sleek, fast female character on the left, and then you've got your typical hero character on the right. So I decided to go with him. Again, I only want to do one. And then here I'm kind of dressing up the graphic treatment a little bit. That design you see on the top and bottom, I created an alchemy in like 2 seconds. And then now I'm just continuing to dress the design up a little bit. From here, you know, I figure if I'm making a character in an environment, and I need to have an IP, right? So I did some Googling on Alaska and found that there's a park called the Gates of the Arctic, right? This national park. So I've, you know, did some wordplay and said, okay, this is going to be this IP, whatever it is, movie, game, storybook, illustration, comic, whatever. It's Arctic Gates. And so now I'm kind of creating some type of logo. I'm really bad at this stuff, so I'm not really going to talk a whole lot about it. I eventually end up scrapping the Arctic Gates logo, but at least I have it in my head. This whole process is about being really fast and just getting out as many ideas as possible from the get-go. And so from here, I got the final design. It's really, really rough, and from this point, I've got the silhouette down, and I'm ready to move on to concepting and really, really exploring this character in detail. Thanks for watching.